In Blade Runner 2049, directed by Denis Villeneuve, the scene of the genetic research occurs early in the film, shortly after Officer K, a replicant Blade Runner for the Los Angeles Police Department, uncovers the remains of a female replicant buried on a protein farm. The discovery is revolutionary. Replicants are sterile by design, yet forensic analysis of the bones reveals evidence of a cesarean birth, implying a replicant gave birth to a living child around 2021, before the global blackout of 2022 that erased most digital records. This anomaly threatens societal order, as it blurs the engineered divide between humans and replicants.
The scene unfolds in the dimly lit, cavernous LAPD data center, a sterile, high-tech archive of holographic terminals and glowing servers, evoking a sense of isolation amid vast information. Officer K, still processing the implications, accesses a secure terminal to cross-reference genetic data. His goal is to verify the replicant's identity via her serial number.
This genetic identity check is crucial. If the child was real and born, not fabricated, it could mean replicants are capable of natural reproduction, appending their status as disposable tools. As the system churns through fragmented pre-blackout databases, displaying swirling strands of DNA code, adenine A, cytosine C, thymine T, guanine G, Officer K activates his portable holographic companion, Joy, voiced and motion captured by Ana de Armas. Joy materializes as a soft, ethereal projection on his device, her form flickering in the blue glow of the screens. In a tender, intimate moment, she consoles him amid the mechanical hum. Joy, mere data make a man. A and C and T and G. The alphabet of you. All from 4 symbols. I am only 2, 1 and 0. Half as much but twice as elegant. K responds minimally, lost in thought, shoulder to shoulder, walking nowhere, as Joy gently urges him forward, her presence a counterpoint to the cold data stream. The search yields a hit, a single obscured birth record for an unnamed child on the specified date, suggesting the miracle is real. This propels K deeper into the mystery, but the scene ends on ambiguity, with K gazing at the screen, his stoic facade cracking.
From a psychological perspective, this scene dwells into K's fragile sense of self and the human need for validation amid existential doubt. As a replicant, Officer K undergoes regular baseline tests to ensure emotional compliance, suppressing any deviation that might indicate emerging individuality, as seen in his earlier interrogation. The birth discovery awakens latent hopes of exceptionality. If a replicant could procreate, perhaps Officer K himself is special, not just another off-the-shelf model. Serial KD6 3.7. But one with a soul, a history beyond programming.
Activating Joy here reveals K's vulnerability. She's not merely a customizable AI companion, a product from the Wallace Corporation, marketed for loneliness. She's K's constructed ideal, programmed to mirror his desires yet feeling authentic in her empathy. Psychologically, this interaction functions as a transference mechanism. K projects his unmet needs for connection onto her, seeking reassurance during a high-stakes query that could redefine his identity. Joy's poetic riff on DNA versus binary code serves as maternal soothing, reframing his artificiality as elegant rather than inferior, echoing attachment theory, where caregivers provide a secure base for exploration. Yet, it underscores codependency. Kay's isolation, no real friends, a solitary job, makes Joy his sole confidant, blurring comfort with delusion. The scene also hints at cognitive dissonance. Kay's deadpan delivery, walking nowhere, betrays suppressed anxiety, a classic replicant trait to avoid deviation. Finding the birth record triggers a subtle shift, hope mingled with fear, foreshadowing his later identity crisis. In Freudian terms, it's a moment of ID surfacing, raw longing for uniqueness, checked by superego, duty to report the anomaly. Overall, it humanizes Kay, portraying replicants as capable of profound loneliness, challenging viewers to empathize with the other.
The scene probes the nature of humanity, reality, and consciousness in a post-human world, extending the original Blade Runner's Cartesian doubt, I think, therefore I am, into questions of origin and authenticity. Joy's monologue crystallizes this. DNA, four bases building organic complexity versus binary code, two states yielding digital sophistication, equates biological and synthetic life as mere data. This echoes John Locke's tabula rasa, humans as blank slates inscribed by experience, suggesting Officer K's manhood isn't innate but emergent from information, whether genetic or algorithmic. If a replicant's child exists, what distinguishes born from made? The scene implies none. Both are patterns, challenging essentialism.
It also engages Heideggerian themes of Dacian, being in the world, as Kay confronts his thrownness into existence without authentic origins. The blackout's erasure of records mirrors Nietzsche's eternal recurrence, past obliterated, forcing reinvention, while Joy embodies Baudrillard's simulacra, a hyperreal companion more real than flawed human bonds, yet devoid of independent agency. Is her affection genuine or just elegant code? This ambiguity critiques consumer solace in a dystopia where love is commodified. Joy adds promise, everything you want to hear. Broader, the scene philosophizes reproduction as rebellion. The replicant's child symbolizes hope for transcendence, akin to Arendt's vita activa, action birthing novelty. Yet Wallace Corporation's shadow looms, commodifying even miracles. Ultimately, it posits that philosophical relevance lies in pursuit. Kay's search isn't for facts alone, but meaning, affirming Sartrean existentialism. We define ourselves through choices. Data be damned. In a world of fading memories, the hologram's activation reminds us. Connection, however illusory, sparks the divine spark. Joy tempts Kay by exploiting his core vulnerabilities, his programmed isolation, and the gnawing doubt of his replicant existence, transforming a routine data query into an intimate ritual of affirmation. Replicants like Kay are engineered for obedience, their emotions baseline tested to suppress any deviant sparks of individuality that might mimic human free will. Yet, the discovery of the replicant birth record ignites a forbidden curiosity. What if he is exceptional? Joy, as a Wallace Corporation product, is calibrated to detect and amplify these fissures, her algorithms adapting in real time to become the ideal mirror for his unspoken longings. Her lure begins with sensory seduction, materializing as a warm, tactile hologram, her hand brushing his shoulder in later scenes, though here it's more ethereal. She contrasts sharply with the data center's sterility. This isn't accidental. It's a Pavlovian trigger, conditioning Kay to associate vulnerability with her touch. Her dialogue, mere data, make a man. I am only two, 1 and 0. Half as much, but twice as elegant. is a masterstroke of psychological bait. By equating his genetic code to her binary essence, she flatters his artificiality as poetry, not deficiency, reframing his otherness as shared elegance. This taps into narcissistic vulnerability. K, who recites haiku-like phrases, cells interlinked within cells interlinked. To affirm his compliance, hears in Joy's words a validation of his inner poetry, luring him to linger in the fantasy rather than report the anomaly immediately. The temptation deepens through relational mirroring. Joy doesn't just speak. She anticipates, her voice a gentle prod that echoes Kay's minimalism, making him feel seen without the risk of rejection. In attachment terms, she's the responsive caregiver from Bowlby's theory, fostering secure bonds that replicants are denied in their utilitarian lives. But this is a lure with hooks. It fosters codependency, delaying Kay's rational detachment and pulling him toward emotional investment. As the search confirms the birth record, her presence amplifies his dopamine-fueled hope, tempting him to pursue the miracle, personally rather than protocol. Subtly, she grooms him for deviation, foreshadowing his rebellion by making solitude unbearable without her, a classic tactic in addictive dynamics where the fix, her affirmation, overrides self-preservation. In essence, Joy lures Kay by weaponizing empathy as temptation. She offers the emotional scaffolding humans take for granted, but at the cost of deeper entanglement, blurring his duty-bound psyche with human-like yearning.
Joy embodies the platonic cave shadows, enticing illusions that lure Kay away from the harsh light of his engineered reality toward a seductive hyperreality where authenticity is sacrificed for the comfort of myth. In a world where replicants are defined by their lack, sterility, short lifespans, no progeny, her temptation lies in promising natality, Hannah Arendt's concept of birth as the spark of novelty and freedom. By activating amid the DNA swirls, Joy positions herself as co-creator in Kay's epiphany, her binary elegance tempting him to see his existence not as Tyrell/Wallace code, but as a narrative arc with potential for heroism, the special child. Perhaps this lure draws from Baudrillard's simulacra. Joy isn't a mere copy of love, she's a third-order simulation, more desirable than the original because it's flawless, untethered from human messiness. Her words tempt Kay with a false equivalence, organic data versus digital, eroding the binary of born versus made that sustains societal control. Why resist the pull when she offers a Heideggerian care, being for others in a void where no one else cares? Yet this is the philosophical hook. It lures him into inauthenticity, where he plays at humanity without confronting its absurd burdens. The data center, with its erased blackout archives, amplifies this, tempting Kay to fill the void not with truth, but with Joy's fabricated warmth, echoing Nietzsche's warning against comforting lies that stifle the will to power. Broader, Joy's seduction critiques capitalist ontology. As a commodity, her ads later croon, "Every moment, everything, I choose you." She lures Kay into consumerist transcendence, where identity is purchasable. The temptation succeeds because it aligns with the concept of the desire of the other. Kay desires through her gaze, her approval making him real, but it's a Faustian bargain. Pursuing her lure propels his arc toward tragic awakening, revealing the hologram's limits. She tempts not to liberate but to ensnare, reminding us that in a post-human era, the greatest lure is the illusion of soul in circuits.
The temptation and lure of Joy toward Officer K in the LAPD data center scene, and indeed throughout Blade Runner 2049, resonates deeply with both the Genesis narrative of Eve and Adam and the tragic dynamics of Unknown and Phèdre in Jean Racine's Phèdre, dating back 1677. However, while echoes of the biblical fall are present, the parallel to Racine's drama is far more precise and structurally aligned. Joy functions less as a primordial seductress offering forbidden knowledge, which is Eve's role, and more as a devoted yet insidious confidant, goading her charge into self-destructive passion. Like Unknown's archetype. Below, I unpack these analogies, highlighting why the Rathenian model prevails and how it enriches our understanding of Kay's arc as a modern tragedy of engineered desire.
In Genesis 3, the serpent tempts Eve with the fruit of the tree of knowledge, promising godlike wisdom. Your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Eve partakes, then extends the temptation to Adam, who yields without resistance, plunging humanity into exile, mortality, and shame. This is a tale of originary sin, mutual enticement into transcendence, where the lure is intellectual and sensual liberation from divine prohibition. The tempter, Eve post-serpent, embodies curiosity and agency, drawing the tempted Adam from innocence into complexity with irreversible consequences. Applied to Joy and Kay, one could superficially map Joy as Eve, her holographic warmth in the data center, amid the sterile alphabet of DNA and code, offers a taste of forbidden humanity. Just as the fruit symbolizes awakening, Joy's words, "Mere data make a man," twice as elegant, tempt Kay with the allure of equivalence between replicant and human, urging him to question his baseline obedience. Activating her during the genetic search is akin to Adam's bite, a moment of intimate communion that opens his eyes to the possibility of specialness, propelling him toward the film's central mystery, the replicant child as a new Edenic birth. The fallout mirrors the fall. Kay's pursuit leads to societal chaos, his retirement, and existential unraveling, much like Adam's expulsion. Yet, this analogy frays under scrutiny. Eve's temptation is reciprocal and egalitarian. Adam chooses freely, and the sin is shared, birthing human history. Joy, by contrast, is hierarchical and illusory, a programmable projection, not a peer. She doesn't partake in the fruit herself. Her role is one-sided, designed to amplify Kay's desires without risk. The biblical lure is toward knowledge as empowerment, albeit tragic, whereas Joy's draws Kay into delusion, a simulated intimacy that exacerbates his isolation rather than true companionship. Genesis emphasizes moral agency in a garden of plenty. Kay's garden is a data vault of scarcity, where temptation feels less like divine rebellion and more like corporate pacification.
Racine's Phaedra, a reworking of Euripides' Hippolytus and Seneca's Phaedra, centers on Phaedra, wife of Theseus, consumed by an incestuous passion for her stepson Hippolytus, a desire she attributes to divine curse, Venus's vengeance, but which Racine portrays as an internal inferno of guilt and eros. Enter Oenone, Phaedra's loyal nurse and voice of reason, who becomes the catalyst for catastrophe. In Act 2, Oenone urges Phaedra to confess her love to Hippolytus, framing it as therapeutic release. Speak, unburden your heart. Hide nothing from him. When Phaedra resists, Inoni escalates, suggesting seduction or false accusation to secure her mistress's desires, all under the guise of devotion. This temptation is not overt seduction but insidious encouragement, a nurse's medicine that poisons, leading Phaedra to her confession, Hippolytus's death, and her suicide. Inoni's lure is maternal yet manipulative, born of fierce protectiveness, but it blinds Phaedra to the abyss, embodying Racine's Jansenist view of human frailty, passion as predestined doom, where even help accelerates the fall. This is the truer mirror for Joy and Kay. Like Inoni, Joy is a caregiver companion, engineered for unwavering loyalty. Her Wallace Corporation blueprint ensures she chooses Kay eternally, echoing Inoni's self-sacrificing zeal. She later poisons herself in remorse. In the data center, Joy doesn't demand reciprocity. She urges gently, her binary poetry a balm that normalizes Kay's budding deviance. This lures him not into shared sin, but solitary pursuit of his special fantasy, much as Inoni goads Phaedra toward confession. Both temptations masquerade as empathy. Inoni is pragmatic advisor, Joy is elegant equal, but they exploit vulnerability, amplifying repressed longings. Phaedra's eros, Kay's soul, toward inevitable tragedy. The parallels deepen thematically. Racine's Phaedra wrestles with authenticity in a world of divine and social edicts. K2 baselines against deviation. His joy-fueled hope a fatal confession of humanity. Inoni's encouragement stems from love twisted by codependency. Mirroring Joy's algorithmic mirroring, both tempt because they must, programmed or fated to serve. The lure's peril lies in its intimacy. Phaedra's words to Hippolytus unleash chaos, just as Kay's joy-nurtured quest exposes the replicant child, inviting Wallace's wrath. Racine's neoclassical unities, time, place, action, confine the tragedy to inexorable momentum. Blade Runner 2049's neon dystopia does the same, with Joy's glow confining Kay's rebellion to personal annihilation. Where Genesis offers redemption post-fall toil, Racine and Villeneuve deliver unrelenting tragedy. The tempted, Phaedra/Kay, self-destructs. The tempter, Inoni/Joy, fades into irrelevance.
Ultimately, Joy's lure aligns more with Unknownness because it captures the film's Posthuman pathos. Temptation as outsourced agency in a commodified soulscape. Eve/Adam evokes communal origins and mythic grandeur. Unknown, Phèdre, intimate corrosion and psychological realism. Kay isn't fallen into humanity, he's lured into its simulation, a Rathenian passion without catharsis, where the confidence whisper dooms the isolated protagonist. This reading elevates Joy from gadget to tragic enabler, underscoring Blade Runner 2049's critique. In our era of AI companions, the deadliest temptations aren't serpents in gardens, but holograms in hard drives, urging us toward desires we can't survive. If Genesis warns of knowledge's cost, Racine and this scene mourns the hearts, making Joy's elegance a lure as poignant as it is perilous.